Evening. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Black Dragon Biker TV. Well, I was going to say biker news that you can trust, but I guess those not doing that anymore. Everybody, it's good to have you all on. This is Black Dragon Biker TV, and this is our Sunday night roundtable. We've got Shaggy, 1%er from the Invaders MC. We got Wild on Twos from Wild on Twos YouTube channel, Wild on Twos. We've got Big Bone 1%er from the Mighty Outcast Motorcycle Club Nation. We've got Insane Throttle Hollywood, James Masakari from the Insane Throttle Biker News Network. And we also have a guest, Pac, from president of the of the Ice Code Riders in Minot, North Dakota. Hope I said that right. Hey, everybody, take your mics off and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I dress for the occasion.
I don't hear nobody.
Apparently your balls are.
Damn right they are.
Hear you guys speak up.
They all match.
Let's see. Are we going to have? Please tell me we're not going to have.
We also got Dib in the wind in here, man, in the chat room.
Dibber, jump right on.
Is Dibber in the wind? I'm a night owl, says Dibber. I'm a night owl, Florence. Hey, Dibber, welcome to the show. You know, Dibber is the reason I ever even did any of this. I'm just always so thankful. To me, it's like having a movie star on the show every time Dibber comes on. So, listen, tonight's show is interesting. So, I'll give a segue in, and we'll move from the segue into you guys' opinions. But first, I want to make sure to plug everybody. Insane Throttle Biker News. Hollywood, tell them where they can get you and tell them about your radio show.
You guys can get me on YouTube as of course. You can also get me on WMMR-DB. That is, you can get that on the Insane Throttle radio app in Google Play, Discord, or Insane Voltage.
Outstanding. And we have Wild on Twos. Wild, tell us where we can get you at.
You can find me on Wild on Twos blog on YouTube. I usually post on Thursdays. I did post again today, so my days are random. I guess Sundays and Thursdays. And Instagram, Wild on Two. So that's about it. I don't really promote too much.
At least you shaved your balls for this.
Yeah, this is important, man. You guys, look, if
Really?
everybody takes off the hat, we're almost all matching. And I needed my balls to go with it.
Too much information. His information is scrolling on the bottom. We will move on. Big Bone 1%er, man. Welcome.
What's going on there?
Thank you. Nice to have you as a host on the show, man. Tell us a little bit about you and where we can get your show.
Right on. Well, Big Bone 1%er, right here in beautiful, the wonderful sunshine state of Florida. I'm thank you. I'm the chairman of the COC in Central. We say West Florida, but really it's Central Florida. And along with that, really we're doing a new show. We're coming out. I was doing, of course, the Hell on Wheels Garage podcast with the segment being the usual suspects, but we're going to a new show that's I'm going to be doing my own little podcast thing, and it's a working title. It'll probably be Big Bone 1%er or the Boneyard or something like that. But I'm going to let everybody know on here as soon as we finish arguing about that stuff. But other than that, yeah. But look, you guys, everybody can follow me at it's Bone OFFO on Instagram, on Facebook, on freaking everything. If you want to shoot me an email, it's bone.outcast@gmail.com. But get at me. I love hearing from y'all. So a lot of folks hit me up with different things that they want to talk about, that they want us to speak about on the show, or just some old, biker information, or how should I do this, or what should I do when that happens, that kind of stuff. But, I'm here for y'all. So that's what I got.
We appreciate you, man. Shaggy, 1% from the Mighty Invaders Motorcycle Club Nation. Welcome, man. So let me put your stuff on the bottom. Tell us about you and where we can get Shaggy's Corner from, Uncle Shaggy.
Yeah, you can go to Shaggy Corner at MC Life on YouTube. Be prepared to be amazed because I absolutely am not going to do no fantastic fucking, glitz and glamour. And it's going to be how it is, man. This lifestyle simple. Keep it free. Keep it real. Keep it on two wheels. And if you need to be fluffed, you're coming to the wrong place.
Well, we want to be fluffed, man. Yeah, we can't.
gotta
Everybody
say-
needs a fluffer.
That's what
We
y'all
gotta
waiting
say
for. That's not what I'm for.
Did you hit 3,000?
He
Yeah.
hit 3,000. Congratulations, man. That's
Hey, all right,
So
man.
check it out. That happened. That fucking happened in 3 days. 3
Say
days. It
again?
went from. It happened from 3 days. It went from 15 something on Thursday, and then Saturday I looked at it and it was over 2,000. And then a little while ago when I got home from the ride I was on, it was at 316.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what any of
3,000.
that means. It sounds cool, but I took a week off of making videos. I was going to make one yesterday, but September 11th is a pretty tough day for me, and it's a happy day, but a tough day. But I just chose to take the weekend off, still get my final recuperation out from National.
Yeah, it was a tough day for us all, especially us veterans, brother. So
That's an amazing feat, Shaggy, man. We were doing numbers, and you're the fastest growing, man, by the numbers.
Yeah, but you fuck something up, you can be the fastest falling too.
So you've gotten 2,700 subscribers in the last 30 days. I've pulled up your show statistics here.
Well, you got some good guys pushing you guys. I mean, pushing with you. I mean, Hollywood and Black Dragon. I mean, that's what they do, and they did a great job.
Coming together in this last couple of weeks, man. I mean, everybody's showing, everybody's talking, and everybody's going the same fucking direction for once. This has got to be an MC history setting thing. Clubs, mentality, talking, same direction. Hell, even NCOC and Incom could get this to happen. What we're doing here is special, so we need to keep plucking forward, and things will be right as it should be.
I agree.
Oh, congratulations, man. We are very happy for you. And finally, our guest speaker tonight on the board is Pac from the Ice Cold Riders out in Minot, North Dakota. Man, it's probably snowing up there right now, man. It's cold as hell. I already know, bro.
No, not yet. We just had rain. Riding in the rain yesterday, like a 2-hour ride. We went down to Williston. The whole way was rain, coming back 60 degrees with the wind chill was even colder. And today I'm in the house with a hoodie on, trying to stay warm.
You should have been warm from yesterday. You still cold from yesterday?
From yesterday, man. Me and the rain don't get it.
Oh, my goodness.
Like it's coming to the end of our season right now, so we're trying to get all around to.
How long is your riding season?
Oh, shit. It could change. It could snow tomorrow, man, honestly. But usually we get the springtime. Once my rule of thumb is they have to street clean. When the springtime comes, you wait till they street clean 2 times and it rains 3 times. So you're looking somewhere March for me, and then from March, and then we have our first snow in October. But it already started cooling down, 66 degrees yesterday, and it rained all day. So it's murder.
That shit.
Hey, look,
Big
guys,
Bone,
we got 100 people watching. We got 100 people watching right now. That's really exciting. So we're so happy to have all you guys. We are looking at you guys. Make sure to, if you've got questions, Hollywood's checking the questions. I'm checking the questions. We're live on Black Dragon Biker TV. We're live on Black Dragon Biker on Facebook, Black Dragon Biker TV on YouTube. And right after this, you'll be able to get this podcast on the Dragon Slayer Motorcycle Chaos. Also, we'll have a call-in period for you guys. If whoever might want to, not a lot of people call in, but if you want to call in, let's, I'll have the phone number up. Dibber says, riding season, what's that? Ours starts the first day of January and ends the last day of December.
Yeah, that's
the big
my
bonus
man
to
right
one.
there.
Those guys, those
Year-round.
are some wusses down there, man. They got 90 degrees every day out in Florida. Give me a break.
That's what I know about Florida.
But you know what it is? We only ride in the summertime in Florida, but we got 4 seasons of summer, 12 months of summer. There's like those 2 cold days where it drops down to like 60. But other than that,
Yeah, then you got the snowbirds that come down, and that's what you got to worry about.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's get down to business. We've been in the show about 11 minutes, so those of you who mark that kind of thing, we're getting into the show at 11:06, 11 minutes and 6 seconds in the show. And so here's the deal. I want to talk a little bit with you guys about the term out bad. And let me just give you a little history. So a guy I've been dealing with, and I don't like to use club names and stuff like that, so I try to stay away from that. But since so many clubs go through the same things, I like to often talk about situations and how those situations are dealt with. So I've been dealing with a guy for about a year, real good guy, real cool cat. And I met him through another guy. And, two guys, both good friends of mine. So recently, a guy called me up and said, hey, that guy is out bad with us. And the implication was that I should, never mess with that guy again. And, it brought up a lot of things in my mind because in my day, where I come from, in my MC world, out bad is a hell of a term. I don't know how it's done on the other side of the fence. I don't know how the 1%ers do it. But where I come from, I do know how y'all do it, but I'll let y'all speak on that. But where I come from, out bad meant you were a pedophile, a thief, a snitch, a murderer, and in the early days, a drug dealer. We didn't even tolerate that. These were the kind of things out bad meant. Out bad didn't mean two guys got pissed off or somebody didn't like somebody because they get more women or there was some sort of political rumble. Two guys start out as best friends, and now that guy's a president and you're out bad. And I think a lot of this that's going on in these motorcycle clubs, I think people are using out bad today like recycled coffee grounds. And it seems to me that people can get put out bad for damn near anything. And so, as I did some digging deeper into the situation, because I'm at a loss. I've got somebody that is a dear friend and somebody else that's a dear friend. And I'm thinking all this, like, what's going on as I dig deeper. The thing the guy got put out bad for is not something that I would put somebody out bad for, or my club, or so has this term gotten watered down? Is it this? Am I looking at this wrong? Does MC protocol force me to disassociate because this guy that's been perfectly good with me is now perfectly good with you, is not perfectly good with you anymore? I mean, what has out bad come to, and what does it mean in today's MC society? Is it overused? Is it abused? Is it full of crap? I'm watching clubs take out bad members from other clubs these days, as on both sides of the fence. So I'll open up. That was my opening. So I'll give the floor to you, great guys, and let you guys all
I'll
speak.
be happy to take this one first.
Everybody except Shaggy, though, because he doesn't.
I saw him doing the little.
So last weekend when I'm getting these text messages in, I'm going, and that's why I said I don't claim to be an expert on anything, but I am an expert on this topic. And the reason I am is because this topic is something that was beat into all of us back in the day about being out bad. So let's back up a little bit here, right? So if you look back in the day and you talk to a lot of the old timers, they'll tell you, man, guys getting out of the club back then, that was unheard of. I mean, it took a significant thing just for them to have to step back away from the club or get away from the club or get out of the club, right? Club guys together forever, and then, to get out bad, that was like putting the lid on the coffin and nailing it shut. If you were put out bad back in the day, you did something that broke the code. You did something that broke something in the code in your club. You did something that went against your entire brotherhood. Okay, when you did those three things, there could be a plethora of things that follow underneath three things. bad. That was one, it was an unheard of thing. But two, the most important thing that happened back then that doesn't happen anymore. I've said that in meetings with other clubs about this because I hung out with this person or I hung out with that city. They book these three things and I'll drop that fucker like a hot potato. Well, I get your fucking business. Get it. Well, that's chapter business and we're not going to get into this. Back in the day, we were out bad. It was put out club wide for one. It was put out through the club like wildfire. That's the fastest communication ever passed through the club if somebody was out bad. Two, it was put out to the community. And the reason why it was put out to the community was to keep that motherfucker from club jumping. He didn't go from this club to that club to this club to that club. That motherfucker might as well sell all of his bikes, sell all of his club gear, all of his biker stuff, all of his clothing, the whole 9 yards. Might as well cut his hair, shave his beard off, look like an everyday Joe Schmo. He had better disappear from the scene because why? He was out bad. He did something so bad that the members, every member around his table, every single member around his table put their paw in there to kick him out bad. And he usually left thump like he looked like some old beat up drum that you'd see, rolling down the road that fell off the back of a truck. Has turned into, well, man, we don't like it because he's talking with this club, or we don't like it because he's been seen with these guys, or we don't like it. He just said something that pissed off because he challenged us on anything. That's not how it works, but that's how it is today. I put out bad for your fingernails not being clipped right, or your just some of the dumbest shit that I've heard, and I'm sure Big Bone's heard some dumb shit. Wow, I'm hearing now that you're part of some dumb shit. Out bad is you did something so devastating to the MC community and to your motor club that you were fucking done, period.
Yeah, well said.
Damn.
That's it. And, I'll jump in there a little bit to kind of piggyback. And by the way,
because the show can't be over yet. Keep going.
No, Shaggy, I'll tell you, Shaggy, you hit the nail on several freaking heads. I don't know if that's even a real.
I'm a hammer.
I've never seen a multi-headed nail, but okay.
I've never seen a multi-headed nail. I just made that shit up. I made that up. But look, the thing is this: is that as I think about this subject, I think about the fact that there are those of us in our respective clubs and our respective sets. We have a response. Those of us that know better do better. That's the old expression that Black folks say: when you know better, you do better. There are those of us that know better, that it's literally our responsibility. I'm not saying if somebody's screwing up, or if they're just messing up left, right, and sideways, that shouldn't be addressed. I'm not suggesting that. But like Shaggy said, I'm hearing, and I deal with a lot of different clubs, and some of the stuff that these guys are being put out bad for, it's laughable. It's absolutely laughable. And now the flip side of the coin, some of the stuff that some of these guys do, and they stay in their club in the good graces of their club, is freaking unbelievable. I heard an argument not that long ago about a guy who got into it with some guy's girl from another club, and this, that, and the other thing, and then the girl got mad, and so she said it was rape, and da 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 da. And throughout all the argument that took place, not one time was it ever suggested by either one of the clubs that, man, this guy ought to be put out bad. It wasn't even a thought. Because if you want to look at it historically speaking, MCs way back in the day were known for some hell raising and debauchery and all kinds of stuff. The thing is, though, it's like some of y'all remember this. Once upon a time, if you did drugs, you were out. Then it turned into, well, if you do intravenous drugs, if you take a needle, then you're out. I don't know that applies anymore. And
actually, it does on the white side, man. Needles and smoking the shit. Yeah, that's good. If you're caught, it's the thing. I mean, to me, to each his own. If I see a motherfucker with a needle, I'll break the motherfucker. That's how much I hate it. You know, that,
Yeah.
fuck it, he'll steal from his kid. If he's going to steal from his kid, he'll damn sure steal from his club.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, not getting all racial with it, but honestly, on the black side, the whole IV drug thing, that's not really it's not really a thing. But I've heard about it, and I've heard and this is from way back in the day. Whereas nowadays, you'd be surprised at the kind of shit that you hear guys are doing actively, like on the regular. Oh, that's just so and so. That's just what he does. Whereas once upon a time, oh, he would have been bounced out. Whereas the guys that are around, it's amazing.
You
It's
know what?
amazing. But yeah,
I don't really honor and respect to all of y'all. I don't really know. We're like here on a little island, you know what I mean? We got 1%ers, we got one percenter here, but we have a lot of little clubs, and you see shit that'll make you lose your mind. On my point, and what I try to do with our club is say, look, this is my bro. If my bro mess up, I'm not here just to kick him out. Sometimes you got to get some discipline, right? But if he get the discipline and the charges fit, he here because we're supposed to uplift each other. But if I got a motherfucker running around trying to sell methamphetamines or do drugs or something like that, that's our number one thing for us. You know, we ain't selling drugs. I got guys smoke weed like they was Bob Marley's cousin. But shit, that's you know what I mean? That's cool. Smoke your weed, do that. But if you see the shit that people allow, it's a guy, example, I seen a dude get socked up. A VP of a club gets socked up. The sergeant at arms standing right there. And he's just still hanging around. He ain't in the club no more, but he just hanging around. He can't come nowhere. You would let him near you because you know what he about. But I think everybody has a different perspective, and you can't fuck your brother's woman. If it's his wife, you can't do nothing. You can't steal from your bro, right? If your rules and regulations say you can't do methamphetamines, you sell drugs, those are your major things. Everything else, brothers are gonna have issues, right? Gonna have issues. But if you break those, for me, you and us, not just me, because we all agreed upon this, right? If you break those 4 codes, we got an issue. But then it comes to, well, what about your side girl? Well, what about your side girl? You know what I mean? Because as you guys know, because you probably been in this longer than me, what's the one thing that the things that always cause the issue? Women, money, somebody jealous of this dude and his girl. Somebody went behind this dude's back and talked to his girl. But bro's gonna do that. But if it's your wife, we got an issue. You don't steal from the club and whatever.
They ain't bros if they're going to do that.
Cool.
If they're going to do that, they deserve to lose their fucking teeth along with their past.
But you know what? They're not going to talk to your wife because they ain't going to do that.
You'd be
surprised. Say, for instance, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Nothing surprises me nowadays.
Hey, and I can say really nothing surprises me, but it's like when I could come right, one of my bros is going through issues right now with his wife. If she came to my house right now, my first thing would be, hey man, she over here. Another bro, his girl called me. I text him right away. Hey, your girl just texted me and said this, because you're never gonna put me in the cross, because what I figured out, what the biggest issues with us is, and why people try to put people out, is that the women is smart. They don't even like me. They want to do something to hurt my bro. And if I indulge, I'm stupid as fuck. Right? So those are the 4 big things for us that could cause controversy, but we don't get down. We 20 and 10. You know what I mean? If you break the rule and if we came to talk about it, we try to uplift each other. If that don't work, we discipline. And then if you ain't listening and you just doing it, we can't help you, and you think that's more important, you go do what you need to do. And if you are right, you can come on back home. But I don't think there's only been one time in the history of our club, 10 years, that we put somebody out. Motherfucker running around talking about he's selling pounds. And, you know, we can't do that. And he went to the ones, and that's our slang up here. We call the 1% the ones. So no disrespect, but we just say the ones. He went to the ones, you know what I mean? So it's like, hey, you can't be here, you know? But for other than that, I really don't know. I just don't try to. Our club is, we bros. We argue, we fight, but there's never been a time where I just was like, I got my secretary, this motherfucker, he make you lose your mind. He argued with me about it's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. But I love him like a motherfucker,
You're in
right?
North Dakota, man. It's always cold.
No, but he keeps me on point. But I need that. But he could never do nothing as long as he don't break those 4 rules that make me say I can't fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
let me challenge you with this, man. I know on the white side there are certain things that prospects have to be taught. The minute it's like almost the minute they put that prospect, patch on it, or probate patch or whatever it is that the club decides to use, but they're taught the unwritten rules. Like, these things you cannot do. Put it in your brain housing group right now. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Period. Put this in your brain housing group. You don't fuck your old brother's old lady, girlfriend, whatever. You don't steal from them. You don't cheat them. You don't do anything to degrade your brother. You don't backstab your brother. It's called being your brother's keeper. They're taught that shit immediately. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you break that from that point on, that you're told, hey, these are the things that are our code. It's not written down. You don't need to write common sense shit down. But if you break these things right now, at any point from the minute you start prospecting to the minute you patch and you've been in the club forever, you're fucking gone. Like, you're gone yesterday, and you're gone with looking like a damn lumped up.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, Shaggy, right there. That's always been like what I've known. Don't sleep with anyone else's lady. Don't steal from the club. Don't hurt someone from the club. The thing is that nowadays, if you have a spat with somebody and it's hearsay, see, I'm all about out bad, right? If you know for a fact that someone did what someone said, because there's actual like real proof that you can show. If there's supposed to be a system when someone's out bad, they're not supposed to find out a year later and then they're still friends with people from the club. And if you're out bad, everybody's supposed to be blackballing you.
That's right. That's where it goes back to what I said.
And also, you're supposed to be
club
told,
knows, and you're done.
yeah, and you're supposed to be told within 24 hours, hey, you're out bad. Don't say shit about the club. Don't mention the club. Don't do this. Don't do that. Right?
That's correct.
You don't save it because you're having a pissing match with someone. And that's the thing is, if someone has a pissing, it could have been a misunderstanding. Someone didn't do anything that the person really thinks. It might have looked bad, but if everybody deserves their day in court in regards, when there's a vote, hey, if no one ever witnessed anything, everybody's supposed to at least go around the table and say, hey, this is what happened, their side of the story. And there's steps that a club is supposed to have. But you don't wait.
Supposed to have a trial.
Yeah. I mean,
that's number one. You're supposed to have a trial.
Hey, but wait a minute. Number one, you're supposed to be brought up on charges. Then given a certain amount of time to get your shit together. Then you convene the trial. Then everybody got a chance to say what he got to say, and then everybody votes on it.
Point of order.
You guys are so polite, man. Trial. It's a motorcycle club.
That's what it's supposed to be, right? That's what it's supposed to be. That's what the rules state.
Well, you don't get no time to get your club lawyer. Hey, man. Hey, brother, I need you to come defend me, man. Put on your best game. It's like, fuck, man. I got to go into church and face my brothers. That's your club lawyer right there. Like, oh man, I hope they take my deepest apology.
I have a question for Shaggy and Big Bone. I kind of got kicked in the balls, learned something today. I'm not going to go into it, but it went against everything that I knew the clubs were about. Everything. Has it really changed that much where you'd have piss in the wind wrong and get thrown out on bad?
That's correct. From what I've seen. I mean, it's too many people to replace you, man. It's just what it seems like. Back in the day, it seemed like leniency was higher because you had less of the gene pool to pull from, whereas today everybody and their brother wants to be in a motorcycle club. So, maybe that's the wrong analogy to use, but that's kind of what I see, man. Oh, we can throw these guys out bad. We don't need them. Fuck, somebody else to come right in and replace them. It's about quantity, not quality. That's why I'm glad I'm here. I am where I am. I'm in the best motorcycle club on the planet. It's all about quality. And if
Right.
you come in and you slip through the cracks and you become a quantity type issue, you don't last very long. You get bounced out. That's why my
Well, that's
clubs are
just
around
like
till 65.
Ironhead brought up. A lot of guys that are being put out bad go to Leo clubs, and
Well, sure.
where I got
Sure.
kicked in the balls was where there's a that'd be something tomorrow. But
Do you know
where
how many times I walk up to clubs and say, "Hey, man, I've never heard of you. Who are you? Who are you with?" They'll look like they have a military club patch or whatever. No Leo, nothing on their fucking vest. Next thing I know, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're military." So okay, who'd you talk to? Well, we also got cops. In the conversation, man. Turn around, walk away.
And we have lions.
Well, that's where I got kind of thrown off, where clubs are accepting cops. But Big Bone, same with you. I don't know the black set or the mixed race set whatsoever. I always defer to Black Dragon on questions like that. Are you seeing the same type of deal where clubs are throwing guys out for pissing in the wind wrong?
Well, I'll tell you, what I see amongst ordinarily in this part of the world, you don't see as much of that to be real frank about it, you don't see as much of that on the black side. But again, I interact with a lot of folks, so we do see it. Now, one of the things is, and I think this has a lot to do with it, I know a lot of the clubs on the black side are real adamant about making sure when that guy on day one, when he says, "Hey, I'm thinking about being a pro or a prospect or what have you," one of the first, even as he's hanging around, the first conversations are, "Where'd you come from? Which clubs have you been with? How long were you with them?" And if their answer is they've been with 5 clubs in 2 years, that might be a problem. Now, and I'm not talking about a pro view. If they're a prospect, hey, you could prospect a million times if you want, because the prospect is just that. He's trying to figure it out, just like that club is trying to figure him out. But if he's one of these club hopper so-and-sos, that raises a red flag. Now, if he's with a club, and I mean a real recognized club, and that's something else to differentiate. But if he's with a club that's recognized on the set, even if it's not the set where you are, then a lot of times a phone call is going to happen, and the phone call, or you're going to reach out to somebody, or somebody a lot of times will reach out to you going, "Hey, this guy's a scumbag, and here's why." And at that point, it's up to your club to identify, hey, is this something, is this a real thing, or is this somebody didn't like the new Harley that he purchased, or his wife is cuter than my girlfriend, or any of this kind. So if it's some BS, you can figure that out. But the thing is, though, at least the process has to start. The process says, if someone is saying from his old club that he's out bad, well, you got to pump your brakes and you got to revisit that. You got to. It can't be about numbers. You hear some of these clubs are like, "Oh, I love these numbers." Oh, come on. You hear about, we want 5 more members in the next month or whatever, so we're just going to slap a patch on anybody. The clubs that do that consistently have problems. And again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about, when you know better, you do better. It's got to be about quality, not quantity. So this out bad business, it's an important conversation. It really is. But everybody here and everybody that's listening, if you're a part of a club, your mission should be quality, not quantity. You shouldn't be in such a rush to drag that guy into your thing that you're going to overlook the fact that, he raped 10 women and did IV drugs this morning and robbed Fifth Third Bank last Tuesday and hid the money in back of the clubhouse, right? This ain't the guy that you want to have around.
So I got a question for you guys.
Depends on what he's doing with that money.
Would you guys consider this out bad? I have a question for you. Okay, so let's say we got a club. One of a founding member was talking shit, right? He said, I know, and this is just me, I'm gonna give you guys an example. I know Shaggy and Big Bone, they doing this, they doing that, they doing this. He's telling it to whoever will listen.
So he's dry snitching?
Huh?
He's
No,
dry
he
snitching?
dry snitching like a motherfucker. But whoever will listen, and next thing you know, you guys hear about it. You say, you know what? I don't like this shit. You go over to their clubhouse and you say, hey, this motherfucker better be gone, or we finna whoop all y'all asses. Next thing you know, they call Dragon to try to peace treaty. Dragon like, nah, he said it. If you keep letting him say it, you condone it. Next thing you know, he's gone. Is that out bad?
Well, first off, I'm not coming to your club and saying, hey, you know, get rid of him or we're going to thump him. I'm going to thump him. And then I'm going to come to you and say, hey, I thumped your boy because he's stupid. And if you want to get stupid, then we thump your club. Then if that don't work, you know, then we sit in a court of law and we around circle and kumbaya and do s'mores and shit like that. No, man, this is biker shit. First off, your dude's dry.
Oh, you had me at s'mores. Come on.
First off,
God damn it. I got excited.
I was excited for a minute.
You're dry snitch and you get so far that it gets back to me, you're bone. I don't know. That's kind of Rico. I'll speak for Shaggy. I'm bringing my axe handle. I'm bringing my stuff. I'm bringing every shot. I'm bringing the fort. If I could be going to prison, because I'm going to protect my name, and I'm going to protect my club, because I'm going to tell you right now, those two are synonymous with each other. I have to put our set of colors on for people to know who I'm with and who I am. And if your buddies out there, or your brothers out there telling everybody I'm doing this, this, and this, and this, and you ain't stopped it, and they called me and said, hey, man, this is what happened. We took care of it, but hey, here's his name. Leave us out of it. We handled our end. Now, if it gets back to me before then, it's too late. You can.
I feel you.
So let me take it to the next question I have. So what is as a club, what is our responsibility these days dealing with folks that someone tells us is out bad of their club? I mean, I've gotten to the point where it's like I just almost don't give a damn. Like, it's just so BS what I've been seeing. But
ask the three questions, Black Dragon. What part the code? How he did the club wrong, and how he did his brothers wrong. If somewhere in there, he did something wrong. So if he's done something wrong to his club, you have to honor that protocol, regardless of how close he is with you, right? That's what's so hard about this lifestyle. That's why I said in the beginning of what I said way back in the beginning of the show, when I said, look, it was put out to once a person was out bad to the entire club scene. Is this dude's a fucking turd? He did this, blah, you know, blah, blah, blah. This would happen. And like I said, he might as well sell all of his stuff and it be disassociated with the entire lifestyle, because he broke our code is pretty universal. We all sit on here, you know, time and time a week. I've done videos, Big Bones done video Wild on Twos, Insane Throttle, you Black Dragon, about the things you don't do, brother. Right? The things you don't do to your club, things you don't do to your brotherhood. We talk about it all the time. And if we can't understand another club coming to us and saying, hey, this dude's out bad and this is why he's out, we go, man, that's righteous. You came to me. I'm going to uphold your out bad. And, you know, if that dude comes around here, he'll get, you know, an education of a lifetime. He's sitting on the fucking road. It doesn't matter how much I love that dude. Doesn't matter how much his kids I love. No matter how much his family, the whole 9 yards. The dude is done. He's out. He's come off. He's done with the lifestyle. That's what's missing from this. You break the three things, you're out the fucking door. It's nationwide.
well, what if someone tells you those three things that you've asked, and you're like, bro, I don't see how I would put somebody out bad for that. And it's really kind of weird, because also, here's the deal, Shaggy. If we go by what I learned to be true MC protocol, it's none of your effing business why he got put out of my club. He's out bad.
Well, see, that's the difference between the white side and the black side. And the reason being, the white side is so adamant about it. It's not so much that it's club business. This dude is going to be this is the typical dude we're seeing right now. He is jumping from club to club to club to club. I can name a dozen dudes that have been in 4 or more 1% clubs.
No.
How?
I didn't think that was even possible until these days today.
Oh yeah,
This
no,
is-
there's guys that have been multiple 1% clubs. You see them out there.
Big Bones will say something.
That's not a Florida thing.
you didn't see that in my day. I was, and I say my day, this is still my day, but when I was coming up in this, I was always told, absolutely not. Once you go to the ones, you're in that one forever. And
That part.
when you drop out of that one of the ones, then you're off the bike set. Or you have something where maybe they might let you go down a level, but you're not going to cross over. They might let you go back to a family club, but you ain't crossing over. And now you're such and such 1%er. Now that didn't used to happen. I see it a lot today.
Yeah.
So to think of it this way, so if a dude, your old lady, so to say, he gets thrown out of the club out bad. So he comes to me and says, well, me and Black Dragon's old lady had a thing. And I go, ain't no big deal. She's a hottie or whatever, good on you, pat on the back. He's going to hang out with us. You'd be like, man,
that's
no,
bullshit.
That's not cool. That's bullshit. That's right. That's bullshit. But that's part of that thing. Sometimes it's hard for us to draw that line, which some of us have no problem drawing that line, but it's hard for some of us to draw that line and go, you know what? That club said he was out bad, and he was out bad for a very good reason. Well, guess what, man? I have to uphold that because that club is going to be around a lot longer than that turd is. And that turd could end up screwing one of us if we let him in. We can't do that. We got to quit, recycling these people, man. If they're out bad, period. I don't give a fuck if they're out bad from a T-shirt club or if they're out bad from a 1% club. We all got the same values. If one dude's going to fuck you over and I let him in my club, eventually he's going to fuck me over. That's got to be the mentality across the board.
Well, I got one.
I think people don't believe it, though. I think that's what it is. I'm sorry about that, Rod, but I think people don't believe it, and I think they want to grow. They want members. They want to be big, so they'll take that risk. You know what I mean? Because I had, in my whole time here, I done had a dude call me up, hey, what about this dude? And I said, well, we didn't get put him out, but this is what he's about. And if he come over there, you're going to have to watch it. You know what I mean? And they still take him because they want to grow. They want to, and it's so funny because motherfuckers want to grow and act like they like the movies, like the Army or the Marines. I'm sorry, the Navy. And they
Marines, you had it right.
He corrected it right.
Hey, but the coolest thing, they want to grow so good, and they wouldn't fucking smash a fucking cotton ball. That's the crazy part about it. They want to look. Everybody want to look. The beards and the chains hanging down from their pockets, like 50 of them. But when you get them all together, they don't do shit, and they just want people. And I think that's where, for us, our problem is here is that Ice Cold Riders. I don't hate to say it. I think we the best thing smoking in the world because I love my club, and when I'm done with this, I couldn't be nothing else. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't have that mentality, so they want to go. They don't want to live up to the code that you put up, right? Because I'm from California. You can tell by my accent. All my dudes, your troops represent the leadership mentality, right? I'm not the biggest dude on the planet, but if we got to get down, we got to get down. And that's the code we live by, right? And if a person can't live by that code, they want to go somewhere else. And they get in there and they just keep accepting them, And that's where the bullshit comes. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us, we need to say, you know what? Fuck that. You was a member over there. You wasn't prospecting. I don't want you over here. Come fucking up my shit. Go back to where you came from. If we put it in that terms. But it's just.
Yeah, and it's all the way that people take things. Like I'm with Shaggy in a way of I like to know if those 3 or 4 things. I have like 4 things. What a person would have done, but also do vigilance of is it a spat that someone's going around saying hearsay? Because the truth actually comes out once in a while. You do a little just digging, and then it takes only a couple days. You're like, wait a minute. Technically, this guy wasn't out bad all year, and suddenly there's a little spat because someone got upset by what someone said. So I believe that you should ask some questions. Because nowadays I see so many clubs or clubs that are growing that in the same club, there's people that are going to try to backstab one of their so-called brothers and start rumors or start a little coup. And then whose word do you really take if you start learning more about that club that you're listening to and their values? And then suddenly their values, you're like, okay, I hear your values, but when you actually look at what they do, you're like, they don't even follow their own values. So nowadays, I see a lot of clubs that they're out bad, and you're like, wait a minute, okay, cool, we'll listen to you. Let me research this. Okay, what kind of club are you? What do you do? But then you start finding out that there's this little pissing match between the people, and the person that they're supposedly out bad was really could be a misunderstanding or something that someone was just getting scared or something to put them out bad, so then people look at them differently.
So let me jump in there. I got to share this with you. And you kind of you're right. One of the problems is that our culture, this MC culture, it's been poisoned and it's been watered down. One of the first things I learned, I'm talking like week one, this certain one percenter told me, he says, hey, he goes, one of the things you want to do, he goes, you lie to me about your girl, I'll lie to you about my girl, but let's not lie to each other. If you're wearing that diamond, and this was before I had a diamond, if you're wearing that diamond, if you're wearing that patch, your word is your bond. In particular, as it comes to when it's time to sit down with some other club to work on whatever, talk on whatever, the thing is you're supposed to be truthful. The reason we do what we do, for lack of a better way to put it, we're better than a lot of other folks because of the fact that we're in a lifestyle where you're required to be better in a lot of ways. And one of those things means you're supposed to be truthful. The problem is, though, is that all those things you just said, well, this guy's mad about that girl, that guy's mad about money and this, that, and other thing. So when the subject comes up a year later, when this guy's looking at joining a club, oh, he's out bad. Why? Well, the real reason is because I don't like him. But let me think of something else to say that might sound like it's good. But so here's what happens, though. And this is where the whole thing's got messed up. Once upon a time, like you were saying, Shaggy, if they say, hey, he's out bad, that's it. Or that's always been the ideology. But who's really out bad anymore? You don't even know, because now, like we discovered here in this conversation,
it's only that's the only status now.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you one thing, though. I kind of hit on this a little bit earlier. If whomever it is, if they're coming to your club because they want to be in your club, like I said before, if they're a club hopping so-and-so, guess what? No need to apply. If it comes to pass that they are legit out bad, and by legit out bad, that means if it's a legitimate recognized club, if they say he's out, he's out. There's not a whole hell of a lot we need to talk about from it. But the other thing is, which we touched on earlier, is, are we doing the same shit that we're concerned with other folks doing? How are you going to kick a guy out because you didn't like his gaiters that he wore last Thursday at the nightclub or something, and you were jealous, so let's get him out of here? And now you're going to look funny at some other guy who's coming from someplace else. You're going to have questions as to whether or not this guy is really out bad, or whether he was a guy that had another pair of gaiters that somebody else didn't like.
Well, I got 2 questions for you, Big Bone. 2 of them. Well, actually 1, and then there's a question from somebody on my page. You just said legitimate clubs.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. What I mean by that is that I don't know about everywhere. Okay, I do know about everywhere, but in Florida, I'll tell you, in Florida, every 20 minutes, there's some club, the ABC Riders, the Walmart Bad Boys, and all this kind of stuff. Every 20 minutes, there's a club that's popping up because they watch episode 7, season 3 of Sons of Anarchy, and damn it, they want in. And guess what? Just because they slap on a patch that their mom made, don't mean a damn. That's not a legit club. I don't reckon, unless they go through all the stuff that everybody's supposed to go through in order to be a legitimate, recognized club on the set, then I don't give a damn about them or whether they say their guy's out bad or not. Well, maybe he forgot to give his coupon when they went to buy the material to make the patch. I don't know. That might put him out bad, because if they're not a legit club, I don't care what they have to say. I'm just saying, I'm speaking for myself, but that's just the way we get down. Says everybody with a patch on is not a legit club. And don't even get me started on
That
the
is correct.
Yeah, because I mean, I think you hit it there in the way of, I guess the other way to look at it, if you don't consider a club legit like you're talking about in your examples, and so most likely the people coming up are getting handed patches, they're not being taught correctly, they're not really having anything tangible for someone to really guide them other than the people that are not, like you said, they're just probably popping up there, so they probably don't even know better or something, anything like
That's
that.
Everybody's got to do their homework, and the way that the set goes for those clubs or those folks that don't do their homework, this is better than college because somebody's going to teach you. Somebody you're going to learn. You like my boy say, you're going to learn today.
Yeah.
Well, this situation goes to the 1%ers on the panel. This was Penguin, and he wanted to ask you guys. He says, I was an officer in a club in my area. They've been around since the late 1960s, and a new probate was brought in after his club folded. Long story short, myself and another brother and this guy, after he patched in, go out to a bar, no colors. I tell them to have a drink. I feel uneasy because I see a hang around and patch holder of a rival club, and I say, let's go. Get outside. There's 8 rival members and 3 of us. Anyway, my guy gets his ass stomped by one member of the rival club. As I found out later, it was a personal matter between the 2 of them for my guy talking shit on the internet. There's the internet stuff. Anyway, church rolls around and I'm out bad for what transpired that day because apparently I set this man up and he wanted to know the opinion of the 1%ers on the panel.
Yeah, that's too many moving parts, man.
Yeah, I'm a little lost too. I'm like,
that's
you lost me about 3 sentences in.
I can tell you this much. There's no such thing. If my brother's getting his ass kicked, there's no such thing as a personal issue. If he's getting his ass kicked and these guys are doing it, then if he's bleeding, I'm bleeding. If he's throwing, I'm throwing. I don't want to hear nothing about this. This it was
bullshit.
Yeah, it don't exist.
Yeah. That's the problem. Okay, right there, just in that example, Big Bone. That's what I see as a big failure. These guys are like, well, I just sat there and watched my brother get his ass whipped. You did what? Let me see your knuckles. I mean, they're boy, you didn't protect your brother. Goes back to a legit club.
That part. Yep.
We call them traditional MCs.
Yeah,
traditional MCs. I mean,
that's what we call them, traditional MCs.
We call them that too. I was trying to make a point.
I mean, the PC world here. I mean, way to bring the PC into this black.
Hey, but you know what we say over here?
motherfucking do all this, and you're like, traditional club.
You know what? From a personal aspect, and I wanted to bring this up because I say it on my show all the time, and maybe you guys can correct me because I catch a lot of shit over this all the time. I came in on an era where there was only a certain way of thinking. 1% clubs were there. They put in the work from the early days. And I get shit because I say, you know what? There's only, some 1%er clubs I, really recognize. Those are the ones from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But now you got all these other clubs throwing on the diamond. And it's like, well, wait a second here. These are the boys that have been around. They're the one that earned their stuff. They had to deal with the profile, and they had to deal with the nightsticks on their head. And people get pissed because I won't recognize clubs that started in 2015 as a 1%er club.
So the way I look at that is clubs back in the day that you're referring to, that those guys did all the work back then and went through all the shit that they went through to get where they're at now. That work didn't stop just because they got through it. That work is every day, every member of that club. I know my club, started in 65. Those guys, man, are heroes. Those guys are our brothers. Those guys are gods in our club. But we don't, just because they made it through that hard time and they made it through those tough decades, doesn't mean that work stops. We still, as members, being new members, we still have to carry on that torch. We still have to keep that work going. That's what defines a club, man. You know, these new members, they got to get out there and get their dirt done, man. They got to make their bones the way they make their bones. You just don't stop because those guys made it through the hard times, man. Those guys are still breathing. Those guys are still judging you how you do things, and they're still looking at you going, man, is that dude my brother's keeper? Is that dude here for an image? You know, they don't want to see the dude that's there for an image. They want to see a dude that's out there fucking doing everything he can just to prove how every day he wants to be in that motorcycle club and be a part of that brotherhood.
I'll say, I'll throw this in there too. This is another thing in regard to those 75 million clubs that slapped that jewelry on just because they thought they could. Again, I feel like it's a geography kind of a thing because, again, I talk about Florida all the time because I'm here, but on the East Coast, that's not something you see very prevalent at all. A club that came out in 2015, they don't have no jewelry, right? And if they do, man, they better be all that because they got to keep it. But one of the things that we talk about that comes up, not just in my club, but other clubs we talk about is if you're wearing that jewelry, just because you got it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, freaking 20 minutes ago, you got to keep earning it every day. You don't like there's a number of clubs that they just don't give that out. You earn it and you keep earning it and you keep earning it and you earn it some more. And but it's the same exact way. It's the same exact way with the patch that you got on your back, diamond or not. If you got a patch on your back that you worked hard to earn, man, keep it. And by keeping it, I don't mean keep somebody up off you from taking it. I mean, put in the work. The same way, and I talk about this a lot, but the same way you were as a probie when you were busting your ass and running around doing this, that, and the other thing, that mentality, yeah, maybe you're not taking out all the trash every night or something like that, or maybe you ain't, behind the bar or whatever, but you got to put it in every single day. You earn it every day. You put that on, and even when you don't, you gotta keep earning it. So why am I going back to this out bad stuff? If I know a guy would not or could not do right by the club that he was in, and he changed his mind with the blowing of the wind and like, hey, I'm ready for a new club. No, wait a minute. I got to have a much better understanding before I let you into this thing that I love so good. And by the way, you guys, I appreciate what you said, but I got to do one small correction. My club's actually the best club in the world. Just so you know. I forgot to tell you earlier.
I was going to say.
Well, you know what?
Maybe to differ.
Maybe I might be biased, but the Vietnam era guys were really something special in MC history. And those clubs with the nightsticks and stuff, that's one of the reasons why clubhouses came about, because they didn't want to go to the bar and get their head knocked in. But when you see other 1% clubs, I call them New Jacks, starting to take out bad members from other 1% clubs, it kind of makes you tilt your head and go, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I think what's going on too with the MC set in general regarding, even if you call it club hopping, what's pushing people club hopping is a lot of these newer clubs like you're talking about. Some people get into these clubs and then they find out, wait a minute, this is not a real traditional club. This is more what they may consider a pop-up club, or they feel they got bamboozled, and that's only because they got rushed through the process, handed patches, and didn't really earn the patch, right? If I get nailed a patch and I put it on, and what did I go through to get that patch for me not to just jump ship at the end of the day? And you get all these guys that it's easy. If you get anything that you get handed to you, you're not going to respect it enough and appreciate it enough to stay in there and fight for it. If someone just gives me a trophy and like, I didn't even deserve this, I can just move on to the next thing because I didn't feel, just like anything. Anyone that succeeded in anything that they wanted to do, they would put hard sweat, blood, tears in. You're going to freaking feel so prideful of that patch. Those are the real ones that will die for that patch. So many people say, I die for this patch. No, you fucking won't. You know how many people drop their oh my God. I ran up on some. I can't say that. But there's people that will drop their cut so fucking quick.
So here's the problem, dude, and it's very simple. We're always start out as the outsider looking in, right? Man, those are cool. I'm gonna go hang out with them. So you go hang out for a little while, and that hang around period, it turns into weeks, and it turns into months, and then next thing you know, somebody's noticing, hey man, this dude just won't go away. Maybe there's something there. So then they start they get somebody who wants to sponsor them. And then they go through that prospect phase. And you're prospecting. And prospecting seems like it takes forever. And then, you're patched forever. And it seems like prospecting, man, can I go back to that? That was a lot more easier, right? Well, the thing is if you don't know if you're in the right place by the time you're done prospecting, then you're still patch jumping. Oh, well, I've patched out and I seen all this shit that's going on, this, that, and the other. You see all that shit when you're a prospect. And anybody who says they don't, they're full of shit. You see every fucking thing that goes on when you're a prospect. You just can't say nothing about it.
That's real.
Because you don't have a voice.
I got a question. Hey, let me ask y'all a question. And think about this. For those of us that know one of them guys who was, out bad because he sucked and he was just all of the things that you get out bad for, and you see him get picked up somewhere else. Has anybody ever seen that guy just do great with that new club? And like, he's that guy that everybody just loves. I can tell you every single time that I've seen that, the club that he goes to, every single time they end up being either that club is a joke or that chapter is a joke. Sometimes it's a chapter, not even a whole club, but I've seen it so many times, whereas they got 15, 20 guys and they got them all in the past 4 months and they're the biggest joke in the whole entire county or the whole entire state. And it happens. So, I mean, that's my experience. I don't want to fill in the blanks for you, but what do y'all think about that?
I've seen it twice. And one of two things happened. They either become Billy Badass because they got their new big club behind them, right? Like they're pushing everybody around. They're
only for a minute.
And then number two is they tuck tail and run every time they see the club they left out bad. Like they will hide behind the masses and try not to be seen. Those are two things that I've seen in the couple of times that I've seen that, and it's a fucking mess.
I'll tell you what I've seen, and this is interesting. They don't even have to be put out bad, just put out. And I've noticed a lot of clubs have taken our guys, that we don't, this ain't a fit. So it's time to part ways. I mean, person doesn't have to be put out bad to be put out. You just, no longer good for us anymore. And I've seen clubs just suck those guys in. Sometimes, I've seen them leave my club with a patch and be in somebody else's club with a brand new patch the next damn day. Or I've seen them be out of my club today and prospecting for another club the next day. I want to announce that I left Black Sabbath, and they'll do it all on Facebook and stuff. I want to announce that I left Black Sabbath, and from now on I'm such and such, and they're a prospect. And I was like, boy, I don't remember getting a call on that guy. But my thing is, like, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy you got him. I'm just so happy. You know what?
Hey, but you know what though, Dragon?
And let me tell you this, because his wife wouldn't let him ride with us, so I know. and his ass always hurt on a long run, and his back was all crumped up, and we'd have to be waiting at the gas station every 30 minutes for every time we stopped when he would ride with us, and his job wouldn't let him come to the. So if that's the guy you got, and I like it, I love it when they cross over to y'all side. I'd be like, man, I can't wait till y'all get into an altercation with one of them cats that wouldn't last over here. It's going to be funny. And then I just, grab my popcorn and watch. And, it's a beautiful thing. It's like you say, Bone, they don't last.
Hey, but you know what, though,
Dragon? I was going to ask a question for Shaggy and Bone. For your experience, how many people out bad have you seen that it was their choice to leave the club? And never had an issue with the club, but then they got basically maybe an argument because the other person, they were mad that he was leaving. Have you had anyone get out bad that way? And then would you look at it differently too?
It was their choice to leave the club, and then they got out bad.
Yeah, like later on,
like the club votes you out bad after you leave.
One of my best friends, he was out of his club for 2 years, and then because of a situation I won't get into because it's too well known here, they put him out bad, and he's been out bad ever since. And nobody can explain why. Not even to him.
But what's his? I mean, can a club put you out bad after you already left?
Apparently so around here.
Well, that's not the way it's supposed to go.
That's not the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, it's not supposed to happen like that. But now, every damn chapter has 2 or 3, MC lawyers. And those MC lawyers, some of them are prosecutors and some of them are defense attorneys.
Some are just a bunch of butthurt crybabies.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm trying to get at in regards.
That's what I meant.
And that's what I'm trying to get at in regards that if the person left bad, left their own will and didn't have any issues with that club, then later on, you hear that's more of a spat. And that's where I kind of like about actually making sure that everybody gets the right information of what happened. Because if the person's saying that they're out, if the person goes, hey, he's out bad, you think, oh, he did something really bad and we kicked him out while he was in the club. Rather than the person saying, no, I left on my own choice. But then we got a little argument just because the person was upset that the person left. Then, a year later.
I got to tell you this one thing, though, for clarification purposes. So I know for those of us that wear that jewelry, and Black Dragon, you kind of alluded to it a little earlier. The deal is this, is that when you come to certain clubs, the intention is for that to be your last club. Mm-hmm. So if you decide, hey, I need to lay down I'm not talking about you got sick or you lost your job or your life's falling apart or whatever. That's different. But I mean, if you like, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling it no more. I don't want to do this no more. Whatever the damn reason is, you lay your rags down and say, hey, I'm out.
Yeah,
no problem. Fine. You're out. But if 2 years later you go to the club down the street and you're like, hey, I think I'm ready to get back on my motorcycle and I want to join you Walmart riders or whatever the hell. Well, guess what? No, screw that. No, you can't. You are already with your last club. You should have just sold
you don't know what you just started with this Walmart Riders thing.
Walmart.
I'm making a shirt tomorrow.
Arkansas is going to be the first chapter. They were fucking old man Walmart.
There's a story behind that Walmart Riders. I'm going to tell you guys one day. There's a story behind the Walmart Riders.
If I see one, I'm going to say Big Bone endorsed.
I approve that message.
From.
You know what though? Out here, we got 1% clubs, and we never really have a member get put out unless it's some bullshit, and there's only one dude that we had to touch up for some shit, and he couldn't come back. But we have members that they want to go step up. You know what I mean? They want to step up to the 1% lifestyle, and when they do, it's always sad to see them go. You know what I'm saying? You love this dude. You've been around him. As a couple of my members, one of my members I knew when he was like 19, 20. I known him his whole life. And he says, I want to leave your family to go start. What do? Do you get upset? Nah, you say, do your thing. You know what I mean? Give it the waiting period of time and do your thing, what you got to do, and you wish him the best. Some people want to go, and it ain't cut out for them because, like you say, you are who you are when you got here. Just because you put on a new jacket don't change who you are. But people don't realize that, and then they get it. It's like everybody want to be in the rock and roll band, right? Because they see the band go get head, they do coke, but they don't realize what come along with being in the rock and roll band. It ain't just being the lead singer playing guitar. So that's a life lesson that they gotta learn.
Yeah.
But I have to do, and my leadership have to do. One, we want to get people that want to be here forever, right? We don't want people to come and go because we don't want to resolve the door. We're trying to build something, build a family, right? So we just got to make an atmosphere, like you said, Boom. You know what this was when you got here. You know we had to be at the clubhouse. You knew we had mandatory rides. So ain't nothing different than when you started. So maybe either just ain't for you or you need to take a break. But we just been fortunate that we haven't had to put anybody out bad except one dude. And if I told you that story, it'd be a movie. Y'all would think it was a movie. And this is a good one though. You gotta hear this because I told Dragon my one story about slapping somebody. Dragon said he would have caught me at the freeway and beat my hand. He said why he was beating me because I done learned you can sock anybody, right? But when you just slap fire out somebody, it changed the whole perspective. But let me tell you this.
Just smacked a bitch.
Hey, look at this story. You guys gonna love this. This is the only guy that ever been put out bad. One of our mandates when we came here is that we don't want to sell drugs. We're here for the community. Everything Ice Cold Riders do is for our community, right? I grew up in LA. Nobody ever gave me shit. So we started campaigning here. We do Ice Cold Christmas where the kids come take pictures. We raise the money for it. We do pics for kids. We give away presents in the park, barbecue, all this bomb shit. We don't sell no dope, traffic no white women, do no methamphetamines, right? This boy run around and was trying to sell methamphetamines. The cold part about it, he walked to Shaggy. Shaggy and your girl have a problem. As soon as you leave, he talked to your girl, hey, give me a cuddle. I was like, what? So we find out about it. So you know what we do? Everybody that this dude got that he affected, and it's like we got clubs here in our city. We called them all to the clubhouse, right? I said, hey, man, check this out. You did such and such and such and such. You're going to have to see. Boop, bop, boop, bop, boop. Went around with everybody. Called my VP a bitch. Boop, bop, boop, bop, boop. Went around with everybody. Then the dude that he's Shaggy, I said, we done with him. He said he wanted to cuddle your wife. You want to see him? No, I'll see him later. Take your shit off and get the fuck up out of here. That's the only dude that ever got put out bad because I'm not selling no methamphetamines. I'm 50 years old. I want to do something good for a kid. I want my club's legacy to be these dudes came from all over the United States, came to North Dakota and put back in the community, didn't take from it. Every now and then, I wish it was Sons of Anarchy where I had a porn studio and some guns, but it don't work that way.
We all want that.
Every now and then.
Yeah. My thing is, too, that I actually made a video called Bitchlings Will Always Be Bitchlings. Because I was trying to be more PC because YouTube took it off first. But, bitch will always be a bitch. No matter what patch they wear. And that's where you see some guys are in a club they belong, but they see this big club that they're like, hey, I like the respect they get and the power feel of that patch. And then they leave their current club, which is probably the best fit they have. And then they go to a club they have no business being part of, and they hide behind that. And it's the same motherfucker that you looked at. You're like, this guy was a freaking pussy-ass bitch to begin with. He's still a bitch, but now he's wearing someone else's patch. And nowadays, you start seeing other clubs that you're like, they're not as hard as you think. I mean, it's the same person. But now people are scared of that person, and he thinks it's because of him, but it's not. And you see a lot of people jumping clubs more for the big name clubs that are probably on the news more or something, and they like that. They're feeling that they belong to something like that for some reason.
It's what we call it the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps is hold on, my daughter just came over here. Anyway, the 3 Ps. You can imagine what the first one is. Yeah. So okay, never mind. All right, she's gone. All right. So it's the 3 Ps are pussy, power, and protection. And if you got to come to my club because you need to get any one of those 3 and you can't do it on your own, we got no place.
Wrong fucking place.
Think about it.
You started something.
Power, protection.
Triple
Luke
Ps.
Says he's going to start writing for Amazon so they can beef with the Walmart.
Hell yeah!
I think Denver put in there.
I heard about that.
eBay club's going to have a problem with that too.
Well, I wanted to play devil's advocate right here with.
I hate the devil's advocate.
Hey,
Full of shit.
I wasn't going to say this, but y'all know that Amazon just patched over Big Lots, so it's going to be a
Well, here's my question. You said that people that go join a club, that's the one they should stick with and be at, and that should be their deal. But does that apply when they're not in a 1%er club but want to jump up? Does that apply?
Look, it's like this with me. If you think that that's for you, go ahead. Because the way I feel, it's like, okay, if you want to say, give you a good analogy, if the MC world was basketball, right, or baseball, my club, we not 1%ers, but we the top of the top of the top of what you can get. So of course people want to cherry pick what we got. And if you think that's for you, do your thing. But I promise you, if you ain't, man, I'm 190 pounds. I'm 50 years old and I chunk him. If a dude, somebody in my club say, hey, da-da-da-da, and I call him out and he don't want to get down with me, how the hell you gonna get down when it come time for the get down? So I know that's not where you supposed to be. You know what I mean? And like we say, the troops' attitude is reflection of leadership. We had guys in our club that I knew couldn't throw a blow, but here's the important part. Everybody is a spoke in the wheel, and each spoke is important. So your job might not be to throw a blow, but you might be good to do the books. But if somebody clocking me in the back of the head, I need to know that you finna help me. But it ain't like that. And you look past it because you see the good that he can be. But this same guy want to go be a 1%er. So if that's what you want to do, go do it. And God bless you. And I hope you succeed because I love you. But 10-1, you know it ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, and someone in the comment section actually wrote a question there that you see that if someone quits the club and wants to come back to the same club, of course, my experience, what I know is like if the club even accepts, depending on how the person quit or whatnot, they're going to prospect all over again, and it's not going to make it. It's not going to be easier either.
I've seen it several times, both clubs that I was in, and I'll tell you right now that absolutely they can. You'd be surprised how many people come back for the second time, you know, and they've got their shit squared away. When you got a brother who's got his shit squared away, you've got a rock solid brother right there. And I've seen it. I've seen it be more successful than not.
Especially when they want to prospect again.
Yeah.
If they're down, they're down. I mean, that's just,
it depends. Yeah, it depends on in my club, you can come back. It depends on what you did wrong, whether you prospect or not. But listen,
these comments, man. Sorry, I'll be there for anybody because I got these comments going across, and I'm so easily entertained. Man.
Amazon did patch over Whole Foods.
Yeah, they did.
For real.
I'm gonna make some shirts out of these comments.
Yeah, these comments are definitely shirt worthy.
I love them. I love these comments.
There's a guy in my club who actually prospected 4 times. He went from prospect to president to prospect to VP to prospect, and I mean, he's gone up and down. And that guy, he's never going anywhere. And those guys, you know, he's a shining pillar. He's a shining example of things to do great and things to do bad, and redemption. I prospected for many years before I was able to come over. So
I was just going to say, I know somebody that prospected for 5 years.
Yeah. So guys, you know, to bring some kind of something out of this for folks to take home with them after hanging out with us for an hour and 19 minutes. And we have like 223 people on the show. This is one of the biggest shows I've done in a long time. I'm so very happy and thankful to all the people, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share all of us. Shaggy's Corner, Insane Throttle, Wild on Twos, Big Bone has got something coming up, a new show he's going to be doing. So please like, share, follow, and subscribe, and definitely share this to folks. So, you know, what I'd like to get, you know, as we try to bring this thing to a close is looking at this topic out bad and how it's abused and how it's misused and how it's used properly. And, you know, like I say, as I said in the very beginning, I've gotten to the point where I don't even, I almost can't respect it. I once said, a lot of these guys I see in these clubs are raised by single moms. They don't know the word no. They don't understand any kind of conflict. They don't have any conflict resolution skills. Everything is always from 0 to 100, like little effing girls. And it really just, it gets on my nerves sometimes a lot about how women like some of these folks can be. And when they get in the top positions, they want to change the bylaws to make the bylaws work for them. They want to create rules like this will make me president forever. And they want to do all these kind of things. And one of the craziest things they want to do is eliminate their enemies, like little Hitlers or not even that, Caesars, like maybe little Caesars or who was
Napoleon.
that? Circe, the guy who was that guy who burned Rome? I forget what they said. Nero, wasn't it? Nero. So it's like they if you challenge them in any way or whatever, the ultimate gavel they can rain down is you're out bad. And the MC community, it used to be somebody could be put out bad, and that was it. Where are we today? Is it the same? Do you handle it the same? Do you do your own investigation? Do you say, hey, well, he's out bad with you, but he ain't out bad with me? Where should we go with this, especially as we know it's being abused? What should we do today as club members, presidents, folks? What should we do as we run into this, as it is exploding and being used more as a weapon than as a time-honored tradition that we really looked at? So, Big Bone, we'll give that to you.
Well, you literally just you gave the answer in your question, and you said tradition. What we have got to do, and this isn't like a suggestion. This is anybody within the sound of my voice. I sound like a televangelist right now, but anybody within the sound of my voice.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
If you're in an MC, if you're with if you love your club, you have got to embrace MC tradition. There's protocol and there's tradition, and that stuff. Like a lot of our clubs started like in the 60s or in the 50s, or even those ones that started only 10, 20 years ago. The thing is that we all have the same history and this MC history in this country, and it's really showed us exactly how to do this. But the problem is that every 20 minutes you got some guy who, like you said, by the way, it was Nero, not Cicero. Cicero was the guy from the movie Mandingo. But the point is, though, is that we've got examples of why this stuff works, and we need to stop trying to change every damn thing. Now, I don't mean, of course, there's technology changes and cars and bikes changes, all that stuff changes. I'm talking about just the basic rules of how MCs deal with each other or deal with ourselves, and we deal with everybody else. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Pac.
Hey, and Dragon, you said the best thing. You said in presidents, how can we know? This is the key part about being a P with any club. I don't want a board member, 4 people that agree with me just because my thing says president. Mm-hmm. I want 5 people that know I don't like this dude. He gets on my nerve and I'm done, and say, wait a minute. He gets on your nerve, but he hasn't broken any rules. Here go our bylaws. And if he hasn't broken these rules, with all due respect, fuck you, Doc. And he can go. So it come down to what you say, tradition. It's like me and one of my guys talked. This like military. I've never been in the military, but I got dudes that have been in the military. We're structured this way because it's the best way to make sure we have checks and balances and accountability. Even though I'm the president here, I can't never just say this is what it is. These dudes will lose their mind because they've been empowered to keep me in check. And I respect them for that. So when it comes to how do we stop out bad, it comes back what you said, Bone, tradition. And this tradition is one dude can't dictate what's going to happen to this club. It takes 5 board members and then the club to hear everything and agree with those people. And the eyes have it. Mm-hmm. That's what I say to it.
Well, then besides tradition, you also got to take into account of this millennial me way of thinking and the PC way of thinking. Look, bikers ain't traditionally, we're not me. We're not political mindset on anything. It's you fucked up, you take your lumps, and you go on. Like, there's a lot of shit you can do. There's a lot of shit you can get away with in the club if you just come to the club and be like, you got me, right? But when you break those three things, and that club sits around there, and I've been in a situation 3 times in 21 years where I've had to sit around that table and had to make that ultimate fucking vote of kicking somebody out bad. First off, every brother around that table is tore to fucking pieces. It is something they don't want to do. And I can assure you, it's one of the most disgusting and hardest feelings you'll ever go through when you got to kick a brother out bad, especially one you got time with, especially one you got miles with. You know, it could sometimes fracture a chapter, but we come together as a whole. And then when we do come together and we do put our paws up in the air, we do send this dude packing. You got to follow up with, hey, all these other clubs, we kicked this cat out. He's out bad. Here's the reasons he's out bad. You know, you don't have to get into the whole story, but give them enough to know that, hey, this dude broke the code. This dude violated his brothers, and this dude violated the brotherhood. Those 3 things, fuck that guy. Every biker that's ever been in a club will all agree, man, he's no good. If he tries to come over here, we'll bounce him on down the road, because the mentality should be, if he's no good for them and we're good with them, then he ain't no good for us.
Hey, we got our first call.
That kind of mentality comes, that's it's going to be. You got a call.
We got our first caller on. Caller, what's your name?
My name's Skid.
Hey, Skid, what's your question?
Yeah, I want to know if a member's put out bad and other members that are still in good standing mess around with his old lady, would that be something acceptable in the set, or?
Well, that's a whole different ballgame.
Before you guys,
Damn big bone.
before you guys answer, I'm gonna sign off.
Think about that.
Take care,
later.
Hollywood.
Bad old lady, get the big bone.
I would touch her with 10-foot pole. If he's out bad and she's still with him, she's out bad too. Fuck her.
That
Thanks
part.
for calling, caller. We might have got juiced
Hey,
on that.
I'll tell you this much though. Like, my thing is, like, I even have a hard time if one of, let's say we're all in the club together, I get your old lady's friend request me on Facebook.
Nope.
I don't accept that.
Nope.
Exactly.
I don't. She tries to give me her phone number, I was like, no, I got your guy. Sometimes we do exchange numbers just because if something happens to my brother on the road, I have a call, but I don't call her or text for anything.
Right.
And if there's an issue, I stay out of that's just trouble, man.
Well, you know, that is a question though. If a person's out bad from the club, does the club respect something like his old lady? Does she become open game? I would say if they're, you know, the brotherhood, you screwed up the brotherhood, not me, and I'm always going to do the same things I always did. I'm not.
Well, for me, honestly, if he's out bad, I don't want anything to do with anything he's associated with, because I don't want there to be an excuse for him to be able to try to come back this way. Well, you know, I did you guys a little favor. Yeah, no, you didn't. He's got crabs. That one's got herpesiphylates.
Not if he shaved his balls.
You know, well, hell, he wouldn't have the crabs, but I mean,
exactly.
He has a gift that keeps on giving. You know. Now, usually, if you do something that bad, it's just shitty deal, but the whole family gets in tow. I'm not going to have anything to do with somebody else's out. You know, I don't want them to have a reason to come back and say, well, you know, you get along with my wife and my kids, and you get along with my mom and dad or whatever. No, just because of that, you're not coming back. Fuck you. You're done. Your family's done. You know, you screwed it up for the good of probably 1,000 people that you're associated with, and we don't want around us no longer.
I'll tell you, I've actually heard. Oh, I'm sorry. I've heard. Actually, no, I'm trying to censor myself, but I know of this one particular guy from another club, but he was put out bad, And his old lady was calling around, petitioning anybody and everybody from that club and a few others who knew this guy, she was trying to basically politic him back in because, she thought everybody liked her and she was so great and she was going to lose her friends and that's another thing. But the bottom line, what ended up happening was, how dare you? Now you're already out bad. And now you're going to take the extra step to just put the nail in the coffin by having this woman call around to all these folks getting in club business. So they dropped her like a bad habit. He was already dropped like a bad habit. It was just a mess, but done. That's it. If you're done, you're done. I don't want to talk to your dog, your wife, your kid. Hey, we're done.
Yeah. And one of the things that, like BD said, I mean, how could things get fixed? Number one, there's not a real book of tradition, right? And whose tradition are we talking about? And but when you have a panel like this, if people can do that in the real world, and that's the hard part, right? Like, whose tradition are we following? Whose tradition? Because myself, there's some clubs that have been around for 10 years that I seen put in a lot of work, and they earn their patch. So I do consider some clubs there like that do earn their patch, and they're hardcore and they grew, they're big and they do it the right way. So I'm on the fence for certain things and certain traditions. So that's the part that is a question, is whose tradition are we following? Like I said, I don't know too much about the black set. I don't know how aligned the traditions are. I'm more background of a Hispanic mix set. So, because I sometimes see someone's tradition, I go, well, that sort of follows a line, but not really. But what I grew up on or something. So I do believe that there should be kind of some type of cohesiveness and getting back to, I guess, the old traditions, more like what Shaggy probably and Big Bone 1% have been around a long time. Because you guys have been around and you've seen what works and what doesn't work.
That's an easy answer too. What tradition do you use? It's a regional thing, right?
Yep.
For example, when I first moved back home to St. Louis 15, 16 years ago, and I was starting my other club here, I was sat down with the 1% club in the area, and they said, look, man, these are the rules. These are the fucking protocols you can follow. These are what we expect out of you. And they laid everything out on the line. And that's the way things were done back then. That's the way things should still be done today, but sometimes they're not, right? So, sometimes it's good to have those meetings. Like I say in the COC meetings all the time, I talk about old protocols and traditions after every COC meeting. I'm like, okay, here's Shaggy's little 2 cents, before the meeting's over. Hey, protocol, this is what I decided we're going to talk about today. Boom, and I go through it, look at the clubs. Hey, this is what's expected. Communication's been the biggest breakdown of this. Like, the reason why a lot of these protocols are so fucking just out there and just so unheard of anymore is because they're not talked about anymore, right? They used to be talked about all the time. You don't do these things, period. If you do this, this will happen to you. Okay. We need to bring that back to the forefront. What's really good is this roundtable is a good part of it. My channel, I know Black Dragon's channel, your channel, Wild on Twos, and I'm sure a lot of the stuff that Big Bone does once he gets his show going again. So here's the thing, man. Communication. That is the only way you're going to solve this problem. Out bad is about this. These are the unwritten rules we follow. COC meetings are the best place that I like to do that, because then I got all the club's attention that I got to see and deal with on a daily basis, right? And you put that kind of information out to them and you say, look, guys, I'm not being a bully. I'm not telling you what to do, but these are the old traditions. These are the old protocols. They may know them. And been taught them, but it doesn't hurt to keep that at the forefront of your brain. People kind of move it from the front to the side to the back to where it just goes right out their ear and they forget about it. And then when they fuck up, we all have talks like this. Well, is it just me that's saying it's bullshit? Or no, we're seeing that it's bullshit because nobody's talking about it anymore. Regions used to be very strict, but there's now so many dominants in so many areas now that everybody's got their own way of doing shit. That in order for people to understand what they're supposed to do, they got to have everybody on the same page to understand the information that needs to be put out.
Yeah, I mean that's what my thought is. I just like throwing questions like Hollywood to get people talking. No, but
he's a good filler.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get. Yeah, because I saw someone ask a question, so I was trying to put a question out there. Because one of the things you just mentioned too, in one city there'll be like several big clubs. So if one person gave someone supposedly permission, it doesn't fucking mean that the other club is going to see that same permission or that they spoke to them. And why do you speak to them? We're the dominant, and that's what you see a lot of now. So
that's why you try to go through the COC.
Yeah,
to get in. You try to, because it's really difficult for some folks going to all the individual dominant clubs, especially now these days have so many in them. But that's a story for a new show. I think at an hour and 30 minutes, we've probably done pretty good tonight, guys. So any closing statements? I'll take closing statements, and we'll just go around. We'll start with you, Wild. Any closing statements?
No, I do like this roundtable and the mix that we have, and years of experience from some people, and I mean that's what I think. It's one of the first times I've seen, because earlier I was on the show with Hollywood and motovloggers and people on YouTube content. They're actually a close group, but for some reason the MC community was pretty divided, even people on social media. So I kind of like seeing the roundtable being done, and then you have Shaggy, Big Bone, Pack is awesome. You Black Dragon. So I mean, having all these inputs from different sides and not just one set from a lot of sets, and you can see how people are all like-minded, right? Everybody's like-minded and we all get along. So I do think it's a good foot forward for people to see that.
Right on.
All right. What have you got, Park, our guest tonight, president of the Ice Code Riders out there in Minot, North Dakota, where it's probably snowing right fucking now.
No, it's not snowing. Got me smoking in the house, bad business. But a couple things, but the round table is cool. But I think that all of us need to, we break it down into sets. We break it down this side, that side. The one thing that we have in common is that we're men. Besides being men, we ride bike. Besides riding bike, your word is your bond. That's all you got. So if we can break it down to those small things, it would be no issue. Because a motherfucker break his word, he get an issue. He get an issue, right? We ride bike, we meet up. It is what it is. Funny story. 1%er out here. I would have never talked to this cat in my life. Came and he smoked in my clubhouse. And that's the only thing I get to do, smoke in my clubhouse. Went over to him, said, hey man, no smoking here. A girl went over to him. He's like, hey, let me talk to you. Hey man, you gonna make me go outside? You want me to leave? Nah, I don't want you to leave. Let's go outside and smoke. I'll smoke with you. We went outside. We smoked a cigarette together. He said, man, I like you. I said, you cool too. But that could have been a big ass issue that got handled by conversation. To this day, I call that man on the phone and say, how you doing, man? How's your kids? How's your wife? And we built a rapport. So I think we need to look past all the bullshit and everybody need to get on the same accord. And if Shaggy called me up and say, hey, this motherfucker's moving to North Dakota, don't fuck with him. There's nobody in North Dakota fuck with him. You know what I mean? If I go down to Florida and get sunburned and I say, hey, boy, what's going on down here? He's supposed to tell me, he dang, don't go around that motherfucker corner because we don't fuck with that dude. And I think if we all get on that same page, the motorcycle world would be a better place. Right. And the world can learn a lot from us because you know how we greet each other? I'll walk up to you right now, Shaq, and give you a fucking hug. And I ain't never met you in my life. But if we could say fuck the race and give this man a hug, the world could learn something from us. You know what I mean? We just got to do better at teaching the people that's under us so they continue it when we leave. And on that note, I got a shameless plug. My club, we sell gear. It's called Rider Republic, right? You go to riderrep.com. And the reason this is our little gear we sell. Everything we sell, the camera got me fucked up. But yeah, everything we sell is backwards. Everything we sell, we take this money, we buy more product, and we just give it to the community. And the reason behind riderrepublic.com is that no matter who you are, no matter what color you are, if you ride a bike, you part of a republic that a lot of motherfuckers are scared to do. So if you got time, check it out. We got hats, tees, hoodies, beanies. We got tank tops for the ladies trying
You
to
guys ship, or do I have to ride up to North Dakota?
well, you can ride up here all the time because we
I
got
would like to, actually.
hey, we got the best clubhouse this side of South Dakota. So you can come anytime, but we ship to you.
We're gonna all ride.
I know my old lady is listening and watching, so she'll come with me. I know that.
We're gonna ride up together.
Hey,
yeah,
you're
seriously,
supposed to
that's
be up
it.
here, Dragon. We tried to get you a ticket and you didn't come. But it's
Oh.
Hey, Dragon, it's www.riderrep.com. And you can go on there and check.
And Ryder is spelled how? How is Ryder spelled?
RYDERS rep.
White women.
Yeah.
And you can come up, you can go on there, buy something, and everything you do that you buy, we ship it to you and we give it back to the community with the events that we do. So yeah, check that out. And if you guys ever in North Dakota, you're more than welcome to come. But I'd suggest don't come after October because it will snow on Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm humbled, and I'm, honor and respect to all of you guys, especially you, Dragon, for having me on the show. So I appreciate it, and I hope that we can continue this because this is kind of cool shit.
Hey, man, I absolutely love that. Glad you were on the show. Thank you so much. Hey, Shaggy, what are your final thoughts, sir?
If you follow the simple things of out bad is probably the most worst thing you can get from your club brothers, then the club needs to follow through. The other thing is I took a week off of 2 weeks off of doing videos because of national, and then, man, I just needed a week to sit by myself. I was actually going to do a video about 9/11 and my story, and I was telling a brother about it today. He was like, man, I was flipping through. I was hoping, you did a video on Saturday, and I had full intentions of doing it. But after sitting here yesterday, I just didn't have it in me to give that part of me away yet. That 9/11 is still pretty deep with me and what happened that day. Other than that, so this week, actually, during the week, I'm going to put some videos out. God, I can't believe how much this has blown up, and there's so many people to thank because of it. The one good thing that's come out of it is all the creators talking. Let's keep that going. I was saying it before the show started, man. We are going in a good direction. Let's keep that going. Man, it is super cool. And Dibber in the win. Good seeing you, buddy.
And we got to get Dibber on the show, man. I want
he'll be on. We got to put him on and talk about travels and stuff, like, because he goes everywhere, Israel.
So, I'm gonna try to get Dibber on my show as well. And there's some other things we're gonna do, but this all starts small, and as it gets bigger, we all got to remember to stay humble in what we're doing. Remember that we are in clubs that we're representing, and can't cross that line. But today I didn't have to yell at nobody. That was awesome. I didn't have to be the bad guy. I got to be enjoyable in the conversation, so I didn't have to tell somebody to fuck off, which is great. Even though I enjoy doing so at times. Pac, it was cool to meet you, man. You have to be the blackest Indian I've ever seen come out of North Dakota. They must be part of that Blackfoot organization up there. And if you go down to Florida and get sunburned, man, this I got to see.
I can't take the heat, man. I can't take the heat.
It's good talking with you guys. It's been 2 weeks, man. We'll see a bunch of you guys next week. Man, absolutely enjoyed it, and keep it on twos.
Right on.
Appreciate you, man. Big Bone, 1%.
Hey, brother.
What
Man,
you got for us, man?
just a few things real quick. And Shaggy stole my line because I was just going to tell Pac that, man, I appreciate all the education. The biggest education that I got from Pac was that there's brothers in a place called Minot, North Dakota. I would have lost the bet. I promise you, I would have lost the bet.
Wow.
But, so there's that one. I swear, when he said Minot, North Dakota, I was like this, like. You just said? But so there's that. But the other thing, I'll throw this out there to you. So first of all, I really got to say thank you to Fran Hash. She's not a lawyer, she's the lawyer. She really watches out for the community here. She's watched out for us in a huge way, to the point to where as we actually Outcast Motorcycle Club here in Tampa, Florida, we are raffling off a fantastic motorcycle. BD, I think you got the video of it, but we're raffling off a badass Harley, and Fran made sure that we had what we needed to do what we do to help the community. So Fran Hash, thank you very much. Other than that, oh, by the way, if anybody wants to get raffle tickets, they're only $20. You can cash at me, send your info to $Bone OFFO. So $Bone OFFO. $20 is a raffle ticket. I'll send it to you in the mail if you're outside the area, whatever. Other than that, man, you guys take a look at the Instagram, which is Bone OFFO, or the Facebook, which is Bone OFFO, or my kids, which are Bone OFFO. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, that's all I got, man. I'm just really glad that we're able to do this. I hope that that the real bikers, people on the set, are tuning in so that they can, get a little something, man. Each one teach one. Each one teach one. That's all I got.
Well, appreciate you. Hey, Park, they're asking for your website again. Your website again. What is that?
It is www.riderrep.com. And you can also check us out on Facebook, Ice Cold Riders MC, Minot, North Dakota. But the website for the gear is www.rydersrep.com.
Yeah, people are putting on the comments.
I did it wrong. www.ryderss Riders Rep. Riders Rep. www.ridersrep as in represent.com.
No S, just rider.
You said an S.
No.
He did
That
too
was
say
Big
an
Bone.
S.
Big Bone said it.
Exactly.
Throw it under the bus.
That was
www.riderrep.com.
813. No, you're 727.
727, yeah.
I got it.
That wasn't
Hey,
me.
listen, man.
Don't believe me. Don't believe me. My ears don't work.
We have. I heard an S too, so all I know is I heard an S somewhere. Listen, appreciate having you guys on. Wild, Shaggy, Hollywood, Big Bone, Pac, man, love you guys to death. Thank you guys for being with me on the show. You guys, listen, you can get the broadcast on a podcast. It's an hour and hour and 47 minutes. So if you want to podcast this, go to my podcast, The Dragon's Lair, LAIR, The Dragon's Lair, Motorcycle Chaos, Spotify, iTunes, all of those places. That's where you can get it from. It'll be available in about 10, 20 minutes. Also, you can get it on Black Dragon Biker TV, YouTube, Black Dragon Biker TV, Facebook. Also, check me out on Black Dragon Biker TV, Instagram, and Instagram TV. My Twitter is JBunchII, stands for John Bunch II. That's where I do my Twitter stuff. You'll like our Instagram thing because all we have is pretty women, motorcycles, and some booty in the air. That's what we do. It gets me in trouble all the time, but guys live vicariously through me. It seems like their women won't allow that on their phones, so they come to my YouTube page, Facebook page, and that sort of thing. So you guys come check us out there. Big Bone 1% is going to be doing an interesting thing. He's got all kinds of stuff coming up. We've been talking about it in great detail. I can't wait till we can share some of it with y'all, but we do know that he will be starting his own podcast soon. And we can't wait for that. Shaggy's gotten 2,000 or 3,000 people in the last month. Wow. Wild on Twos is every Thursday. He's doing it a couple nights a week. So the Ice Code Riders are selling shirts from the what's it called? Show me your shirt again, man. Where'd your shirt go? Oh, there we go. Rider R Republic. So hey, listen. We got plenty for you guys to do. We're not looking at that one that Wild just showed. We're not even talking about that.
Every week, new shirt.
We will be back on Sunday. We're on Sunday nights, 8:00 Eastern. This was our biggest show ever, like 225, 230 people. So we're just really excited about that for all the love and the respect and everything. And we just appreciate that we're doing something that you guys want to see. We're going to keep doing it. Hey, if you want to be on the show, send me a message, Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com, or any of the other brothers a message. Send us a message. If you want to see a topic talked about or whatever, send me that message. We want to interview the greatest people in the country that are doing the greatest things with motorcycles, either on the 1% side, the traditional MC side, the RC side, the MRO side. We're Christian motorcycle clubs, whatever you are. If you're doing something great, we want to talk about it. We want to know about it. We want to see it. We'll run that through our panel and we'll chew it up. Listen, I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents and the 2 cents of the guys in the show. Catch you next week. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on all of our platforms. God bless you all. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in and get skinny.
Peace.